Well, you could say, if you've got more than 1 year left, than 1 year's salary, you've got less than years left, half the salary that's left over.
I can support that. $5,000 is totally ridiculous. I would never sign this contract.
Well, I agree. Anybody from the director might want to sign that.
I think we should
Get
have
6
some kind
people
of
together and
percentage,
anymore, you go.
a percentage.
Does the county or city?
If it's if a year and a half, what would we do if they left in a year and a half? How, if
1 year
we
salary.
bought them out in
1
a
year
year and a
salary.
half?
Be
Yeah,
1 year
yeah.
salary.
1 year
That's
salary.
what we said, right now, based off of 1 year salary.
1 year salary, and then if it's less than a year, then it has to work.
Yeah.
And I think the best
We're voting
example.
on this, where we're gonna get the money.
That's the thing, I mean, we're gonna run into, if the board come in and want to buy, they can pay $105,000.
You gotta have $210,000, not because you're gonna pay a new director.
Yeah, there you go, you're doubling that.
That's where you run a risk.
Well, you
Well, I
don't wanna
mean,
do
that-
this frivolously, though. You want it to hurt if you're gonna do something like this. You're gonna put a man out of his job before his contract's up. It needs to hurt.
That's, if he's done
If
something
it
that
puts you in a
bad.
situation you have to really think
Yeah,
about.
if it's bad, you do it for cause,
Yeah,
right?
you haven't, you've gotta really think of it, for cause you don't owe them anything, right?
No, if it's your cause.
Yeah, you don't
turn
want
it
me to-
down.
It's, some type of fraud like we've had in the past, and it don't cost you anything.
Uh,
But he resigned.
I think we might wanna, leave it up to the board discretion of what we would pay him if he left in the middle of the year or left and he still had a year.
And
I can't see paying him a whole salary.
it needs to be in the contract.
It needs to be, they need to know what they're signing.
Now, I know they need to know what they're signing.
But what we're saying, Sarge, is, let's say 2 years in this contract, a new board comes on, and they decide they don't want this person anymore. Then, just because they don't want this person anymore, they need to pay that person something to let them go
Well,
home.
pay him something, but I'm not saying a whole, I might get up there, if I was the director, I might do something, so you pay me, I go home early.
That's a good point, too.
Well, then you'd fire them for cause.
That's a good point, I hadn't thought about that.
But then you'd fire them for cause.
Yeah.
Well, he may get she or he maybe get together with some of their buddies and say, just fire me, you know, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it,
I don't either, but
Well,
there's
you
always
look at a
possibility.
percent that's more than 5,000, I think everybody agrees, that's ridiculous.
Oh, that's
But you
5,000.
set a percent, it's maybe not a full year, but it's still enough to make us, like we're talking, think about it before the board, we're gonna let them go, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Like
That
if
is-
it's more than a year's salary. If it's less than a year, we just need to give a percentage of that year.
You mean, we got this,
so you're saying if you fire them, terminate the contract
And
at
they
the
got
end of
10
3
months
years,
left.
at the end of 2 years,
this is 10 years.
then it would just be a portion.
Yes.
There's only months left on the contract.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that.
That's what
I mean, if
that's
they
what I'm
have-
saying, and half of what's left.
Not half, a percentage. If it's 10 months, pay them 10
Oh,
months. If
yeah,
it's
I don't
8
have a
months,
problem
pay
with
them
that.
8 months of that.
I don't have a problem with
I
that.
mean, you know,
But if it's a year into the contract, you pay them a full year.
yes,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
So if you terminate out 1 year,
Yeah.
or year and 1 year, it's full year. Payout, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I think what Danny's saying, if it's into the 3rd year and there's 5 months left on it, you
Yeah.
pay them the remaining 5
But we
months.
Yeah.
wanna set it year by year, well, you're 1 year, 2 years, 3
Well,
years.
that's paying them 100% then.
It is for what's left on their contract for that year.
Well, I was just saying pay them half.
Not very far.
You've already paid them,
I agree. That
but I mean,
he's right.
if
They've
we wanna
already-
buy them out, you know, I don't know.
Well,
I just,
so what you're saying, at the end of 2 years, they've got 1 year left. You pay them a full year salary.
Yes.
But if it's
5 months.
half a month, another half a year into their contract, there's 6 months left, you pay them for 6 months. worth of
Right.
salary. Yeah, I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with that.
So you're saying anything less than 1 year, pay them the
Just buy
100%
out
of the contract?
Yeah. Anything less than 1%, you pay them the remaining balance of that year,
yeah.
is what I'm saying. Anything less than 1 year.
Yeah, okay.
If we want to buy them out,
Yeah, I think
or
that's.
if we just want to go and buy them out,
Well, that makes
I'm
it
not
lot worse
in-
than what I was saying.
I'm not into
Well,
taking
I was
somebody's
saying
job,
50%.
that's what I'm not into.
Well, but if you're-
Just for the, cause I'm a new guy.
Oh, you're saying. it's-
I'm not into going in and saying, hey,
Well,
I
I was
don't
saying
want you
if
no
there's
more
8
because
months
I'm a new guy.
left and you owe them $80,000, only pay them 40. But
2
he's
years.
saying if they
I
owe
wouldn't
them
sign that.
$80,000, then pay them $80,000.
I wouldn't sign it.
But, you know,
Well,
No, that's just in the last year.
Right.
But before
Yeah.
then, pay them one full year
Yeah,
salary.
but I was still with you. If I was director of schools and you wanted to, just because you wanted to get rid of me, you had new board members, it's not my fault. that you wanna get rid of.
Well, I
You don't
agree with-
like
I
it.
agree with you.
If I've done everything I'm supposed to do on that contract, if I've met all my criteria and everything on that contract, it ain't my fault.
I
That the
agree
new
with
board
that.
member don't like me. And that's one thing that gets me about a lot of this stuff. People take people's jobs because they don't like them, or they ain't into them, or something like that. And I'm not in that, I'm not that kind of person. You know, people who work for what they've got today, they work many years for what they have.
And like Danny's even saying, you do evaluation.
Yeah,
Most
we
do
do
it. You can have
evaluation.
costs.
Absolutely,
See, that's the
yeah.
thing, he's reading that, so.
I mean,
Especially-
Even if I
especially-
evaluation,
Especially to be safe, you do two evaluations.
you would have calls and it wouldn't cost you nothing.
Absolutely. yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
called,
what
what
it
is
reads.
called
That's what it
defined
reads.
as?
So it reads, you know, we're talking about for costs, it says inefficient service, so if you evaluate, you're not efficient.
There's a lot of calls.
There's costs.
You know, there is. Listen to Mr. Chadley, he knows. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's
So,
right.
I guess what we come, what agreement we come to.
Well,
Where's that at?
I like the idea, like Danny said about if it's 1 year, if it's a year from now, and the board decides not for cause, but they just wanna get rid of the director of schools, then I think that it should be 1 year salary. And then, the only reason I disagree with Jerry on that last year, let's say that the board knows that the guy only has, or lady only has 2 years left, 2 months left on their contract. And they know that there's somebody out here that they would like to hire. It don't penalize the board for those last 2 months, paying them
Don't-
$55,000.
No.
You said half their salary?
Half of what's left.
Oh, okay, I can buy that.
Half of what's
I thought
left.
you said half of them.
No, half of what's left.
But what you're saying, Mike, is just throwing all of this scenarios, if your director come in, they work 1 year, and the board says, we're gonna get rid of this director.
Cost
you're gonna pay them.
$105,000.
It wouldn't be 200.
No.
It'd just
No,
be the
100.
1 year.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the remaining.
Now, I think we all agree on that. The 1 year, we all agree on that.
It's just on the number, it's just a less
It's just
than a
that
year.
percentage on less than a
1 year
year.
salary.
Yeah, that's
Well,
all
I
I'm
agree
saying.
with you, I agree with that.
Half
I
percentage on
misunderstood
what's
what-
left.
I agree with that.
But now Danny's saying pay them all what's left, and if that's what you wanna do,
And
then.
that's in year 3.
Well, I'm
That
saying
happens
in year
Yeah.
3, I'm saying,
Is that what you're
So
saying?
basically.
If
well, that's what
we
Danny
decide
said,
to
yeah.
get
We're
rid
all
of
talking about
somebody.
we're all talking about year 3, yes.
if we decide to get rid of somebody, or the new board comes in, I ain't even on it, and they decide they wanna hire a new director, and he or she has met all the criteria that we've asked them to do and done what they're supposed to do, it's not their fault.
And I agree with you, but I made my suggestion because in all contracts, at some point in time, you write something in there that favors you just a
That's
little
right,
bit.
that's where I was getting at earlier.
You gotta favor you just a little bit, not favor the other person 100%. That was all I was thinking.
I'm gonna recap where we're all at. I understood everything, the way everybody's talked, these examples. We got a 3-year contract. If the board decided to terminate without cause in year 1, or after year 1, before beginning of year 2, we would pay $105,000. If the board decided to terminate after year 2,
No, during year 2.
During
or even during year 2, you still pay the full contract.
I agree.
No, you
No,
pay
no,
$105,000.
Okay.
Then if the board decided to terminate within year 3, sometime in year 3, you would pay half of the remaining part of the contract.
That was my
left.
suggestion. Danny suggested pay it all.
Pay the full amount.
Cause it's not their fault.
And I can support either one.
I mean, I'm not, I ain't gonna say you're an argument about all that.
Yeah.
No.
What I'm saying is, when it, you know, if it ain't their fault, it ain't their fault.
All right, I'm gonna support what you just said.
Okay, well,
Well, as far as,
are you in agreement with 100%?
It's awful easy for us to sit here and get that money.
I
and
know,
not do
you're
it.
right about that. I agree with Sharon
Yeah,
on
it's easy
that.
to
I
say,
do,
I'm
I
gonna
mean-
give you $105,000.
Yeah, I agree,
but,
I agree.
You know,
It
that's
may
that
be,
taxpayer
Vern
money
may have
you
the
have to
best
worry
idea,
about a
I'm
little
not
bit.
saying
Somebody's
my
gotta come up with it.
idea is the
Somebody
best.
will have to come up with it.
I'm just saying.
And that's
I'm
part
just
of why I
putting
say
something
let's do
else out there.
50%.
Cliff.
And we're gonna have to quit talking at the same time. One stop, another, and have to shut
No,
up.
just make- Well, we beat this dead horse enough. I think we ought to take a vote around the table.
Well, let's make it.
You ought to take a vote around the table and ask each one, are you 100% or 50%?
Why don't we, this is my suggestion, I can go along with most anything. If it's his first year, and he starts out in the 6 months of that year, and he messes up, we pay him the remainder 6 months.
But if he
Not
had-
go into the second year, Forget about the second year, work on the year that we're in right now. Cause why go up the second year and pay this other salary? That's a lot of money wasted.
But if he messes up, you're gonna fire him for cause.
Okay, but, we
You don't
need-
pay him anything.
Well, but we don't need to pay him nothing extra. That year that he's working, then we can pay him the rest of that year. If it's 10 months, we pay him 2 months' salary.
Yeah, but somebody can't come in and sign a contract with the thought, hey, after 6 months, they might fire me.
Well,
And I don't get anything.
yeah, you get 6 months.
I don't believe we get anybody to take the job.
I think we
I
can.
mean, I'm not saying
I
that.
believe we can.
I don't think we can get anybody to sign that
He would
contract.
still, if he's fired every 6 months, he's still gonna get the $105,000.
Right.
Gets what's left on that
What's
year.
left, he's got what he's made to that point, and
Right.
then the remainder, so he still gets.
So he's still getting your salary.
I think the other way, all it does is a deterrent, is to keep the board, really gotta think about it, if we're gonna do it.
Right.
Say,
Yeah.
we wanna spend $105,000.
But if the way we talk, if you got rid of them in 6 months, you're gonna pay them what they worked 6 months, then another $105,000.
That's what we thought.
That's right.
Insurance,
And
right,
that's
the
only
money-
fair.
The money, where we gonna get it?
That's right, where we
It's gonna
gonna
be a
What I said a
deterrent.
while ago.
Okay. Right.
It's gonna be a deterrent,
We're gonna
what
try
you're
to work
talking
it out
about,
with them.
somebody just saying, I don't
You're gonna
like
have to
you,
fix
Right.
this
so
problem.
you rid of it. It's gonna deter, you're gonna have to really wanna
Yeah.
have a reason to
Right,
get rid of
right.
somebody to do it.
Right.
And if you have that
That's
reason,
right.
you don't pay
That's a good
nothing.
point,
Right,
because you
okay,
got
all
costs.
right, I'm cool, I'm cool.
Crystal, what did you say that was?
Politics, I don't know any of the politics.
Yeah, right.
What did she say?
She said you're trying to keep the politics out of it.
Right.
That's exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Well, I think what Jerry's trying to do is trying to take some of the liability off the board by saying, if they've made it 3 years and 6 months, then, I can support that, pay them half of what's left. That's okay, I can do that. That's my vote, that's what I'm gonna vote for.
Well, now, don't mark it out, Clint. Think
Well, no,
about it.
I had 2 different scenarios.
I guess that's something you have to discuss in the school board meeting.
It is, we'll have it, Bill will review all this stuff and we'll take a vote. And with the other board members, see, they're not here. We can't make any decisions.
It's not.
That's right.
So you all need to discuss whether to do 50 or 100%.
I'm gonna support 50% last year. 100 before.
I might go to
105.
75.
One year.
You wanna chip in that money?
I could chip in $3.
Hey, I wrote a check to the IRS today, that 850 at the end's looking good to me right now.
All right, well, well, how's everybody else doing?
Did you too?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we don't vote tonight, so we can move on. I think we got on the
You need
table.
to see what the committee's consensus is.
Yeah.
Does everybody, I mean, want to give a consensus?
Yeah, I think
on
that makes sense, I like
You
it.
know yours.
I know mine.
Sarge, how do you feel about that? Your opinion, I guess.
Which one?
The one about, year 1, year 2, if they're terminated without cause, they get the $105,000. You terminate them within year 3, say there's 6 months left, you're gonna pay them just half of what's left over.
Half, are you in favor of half or 100% what's left?
He said he's good.
Eddie, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not gonna hold it up.
Let's just discuss
I'd probably
tonight.
vote against it.
We're not gonna vote tonight, so.
Right. Simply reason is, I'm the kind of guy that, if it ain't their fault, it ain't their fault.
I agree with you.
I don't agree with it, but then.
I'm a lone wolf.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure if
I'm not sure I've got to put this is over the more.
Carry on, Clint.
I don't have a problem with it.
We won't vote on this.
Well, again.
What is the state, I'm gonna stay here on the transfer. Is that just saying, it's still back with the termination part, that's the transfer part of that. Is that saying that at any time, the board has a right to transfer the director back to the teacher?
We're gonna have to finish the rest of this one. Well, that's what I say.
That's what it says on transfer. Mike, do you remember?
How does,
the
is
reason we
that
had-
conflict with what we just talked
Okay.
about?
No, you're not firing him, you're just moving.
Right.
There ain't a chance I'd sign that, but it's in there, it's in there.
Are you gonna pay him that
director's salary?
No, it says
What
you
it says
adjust
here
it.
is if you transfer it back
He
to the
gets the
teacher,
salary
they
in
go
the
back to the
position
teacher's
he goes
salary.
to.
It says you adjust.
Or she goes.
I never did agree with this paragraph.
I don't either. If we get rid
That
of
should be
director,
taken out.
we shouldn't put him in as a school teacher.
No, that should
We
be
would-
that should be taken out.
If he done something, we was gonna get rid of him for him.
Yeah, if we want
We
rid of, we
should,
want rid of.
we shouldn't put him in as a teacher.
I mean, that contradicts what we just said,
That's
because
what
the
I'm saying.
board
I
could
think
come
this
in and
ain't-
just transfer them and not pay a penny.
I think this needs to be
That'd be the
taken out.
easiest way to get rid of it, right there.
Now, is there-
That's what I said.
That'd be penniless.
Well, yeah.
Would there be a case where if someone came from within the system and was approaching retirement, where you wanted to put them into a position
I
where
wouldn't
they
say
could
that.
I
finish
think
out
that's
their years towards
negotiated.
retirement?
No way.
I
Or you
think
just
that's
gonna let them get-
negotiated.
I think you should
that's
take
fair.
I
that
think
clause
it depends
out.
on the
That-
situation they leave, that you terminate.
That's absolutely fair.
I never did agree with that paragraph. I'm gonna put another X on it.
Yeah, that one should be taken out.
And then on down to without cause, that's what we just got to talking about.
And I think it should be tied directly to the evaluation. You got two in a row, then I think you got caught up.
Okay, miscellaneous.
I got a question on that. Did Donnie do that?
What's that? Evaluation?
No,
Oh,
it's
well,
one,
yeah.
I don't.
one in each district?
He did not. He tried, I think
He did some, didn't he?
His staff would come up there and try to give out their, state of the school.
Okay.
He had some taping. Jim Freeman would come there and do some tapings of it. and
Okay.
They would air it. Is that not right, Jim?
But he didn't do this in each
How do
district?
y'all feel?
Not that I remember.
No, I remember one we did at Meredith's place. We did, his first address, I think he did there. That's all.
I think he did one in Valley View.
Well,
didn't he?
you know, I mean, as much as I like Donnie,
Elk Valley.
you're gonna pay him
He done one at Elk Valley.
$150,000 that's in here, you gotta hold his feet to the fire on it.
I agree.
Well, she said he done Elk Valley. I know he done
Yeah.
Valley View.
When you all do your evaluation, you didn't
Follett
say-
Elementary.
Did you do this?
Terrible.
Well, the biggest thing, we just need to enforce it.
Absolutely, it needs to be.
I don't have a problem leaving it. I think it needs to be in.
I think it's a good thing for, I mean, we all talk about community involvement in the schools,
Absolutely.
and that right there involves the whole county.
I don't have to-
There's only 5 districts. He didn't have to go to every school.
No, it just says.
And he made 5. He went to Elk Valley, he went to Valley View, he went to Follett, he went to Terrible.
The basically says he has to do it every year.
Yeah.
I don't
And
remember
Campbell
Donnie
County.
doing that.
I do, I remember
Do
him
you?
going to Valley View.
But I think it says every year.
Yeah, and I don't know he done every year. I know he done one
Well, we
time.
just need to enforce it. before.
Yeah, I agree. People need to
Well,
be
that
held
covers
accountable.
this contract. I guess, does anyone see a need to add anything else to what we just went through?
Need to add some money to the school board members, you know.
It's a separate contract.
That $200 don't go very far.
Well, the board told Johnny, if you want to make that money, keep it
I know,
out.
yeah.
What I plan on doing is trying to, get on the process. I can type up something, bring it back to, but Dale's gonna have to look at it.
You got it.
They said it's nice.
I mean, I don't care to put it into a contract form and hand it to Dale. He's got a quick run to do that.
They'll have an electronic copy
So
of it.
he's got a way to go.
So I think we make the suggestion, you coordinate that with him, make
If
the
he- I can
suggestion
just coordinate that with
with
him.
Gail and then get it to him.
And he'll bring a copy draft, everybody reviews, if it's good, and we'll go back.
Good job, Clint.
Yeah, it's all about everybody putting the input in.
All right, really quick, we've got about 10 minutes, we've got to go to the courthouse. This list of questions that, Gail sent out to everybody, I'm sure everybody's had an opportunity. to
Come
look
on,
at it.
Melinda.
Both board members and committee members. I think this is what we agreed to. And these are the questions that are approved, that my intent is to take this list and divide it up among each board member and let every one of these questions have to be asked each one after, okay? And then keep everybody involved. Then after that, Dale said, get a list of personal questions that you want to ask the board member, okay? You can't ask about anything religious, political, whether you're married, things like that. If we get them to Dale, we'll review them. And those questions you do not have to ask every applicant. You do not.
Oh,
So,
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
because he said it may not pertain to every applicant. It's like it came from the district or what they've done or something like that. Because he said,
don't wanna know who, have we had any turned in?
No.
No.
not yet.
Still hasn't been any turned in.
Okay.
How many has picked up?
To my knowledge.
Four.
We got five. If we don't, nobody don't turn in, we'll start over.
No, we haven't. We ain't got any
Are we gonna
turned
work
in.
on these questions now? There are one or two to strike in here we need to, or
Okay.
are we gonna do it some other time? maybe?
We've got plenty of time, we just, before we, these are the questions that we will give to the applicant.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we've got time, but just be reviewing them to make sure that there's not any changes, we'll take that up at the next committee meeting that we have.
Okay.
Did you print them off?
You can have this one.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very
And,
much.
but none of those
Thank you.
questions you come up on a personal note, just
Get 'em
to Dale, you don't have to go through any of us, get them to Dale, make sure he's okay with them, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Any questions? Any committee members?
I'm
Community
good.
members? Mr. Chadwick?
Good.
I'm good.
Everybody good? All right, let's go to courthouse.